And scene. Great audition, I think we got it. Awesome, thank you so much for your time. Oh, just a few questions before you leave? Oh, okay, sure. What would you like to know? Do you ever speak with a foreign accent? No, I actually don't. And do you happen to know any forms of martial arts? Well, I took a few classes one time. And how good would you say you are at math? Are you seriously trying to measure how Asian I am? Oh, no. We would never do that. But hypothetically... Oh my gosh. Hi everyone, I am Nick Tom. And every time I need to remember why Asian representation in Hollywood matters, I go back and watch terrible vintage movies like Surf Ninjas, a movie in which the main characters hardly ever surf, and they themselves never become ninjas. Released in 1993, Surf Ninjas follows two orphan teenagers living their best lives in California when they discover that they are royalty and are suddenly given superpowers, which they must use to go back to their home country and overthrow the evil ruler who is for some reason half man, half robot. All this kicks off when a mysterious warrior saves them from an attack from a horde of evil ninjas. Unfortunately, he's not able to stop the ninjas from kidnapping their adopted father, and so now the kids must go back to this country in order to rescue their beloved father, and in doing so, fulfill their destiny. Oh, and they can't just chill in California because the mysterious warrior literally blows up their house.
I had no choice.
I understand that this is just supposed to be a goofy movie where everyone in the family can have a good laugh. But what I find most laughable is that the people behind it made absolutely no effort to accurately portray Asian people and thought that they could just get away with it. The whole story revolves around this mythical Asian country that they call Patusan. But what is clear from just the first few seconds of seeing it is that this is Thailand. Like, this is literally Thailand, and I should know because I grew up there. So everything from the art to the clothes to the music all seem familiar to me as belonging to this culture. But Nick, you might say, how can you be certain that this is Thailand and not just another Asian country? Well, probably because in one of the flashbacks, the characters can be heard, wait for it now, literally speaking Thai. Now, it's been a while since I spoke Thai, and if I were to do it now, I would undoubtedly have a gnarly American accent, but even I was able to recognize that the characters were saying something along the lines of, "Child, you have to go to America. Take care of my child, okay?" So the writing didn't even try to hide the fact that this was Thailand, and yet there was still the nerve to say that this was just some made-up country that didn't really exist. Okay, how are we gonna write this Asian story without it being offensive? Ideas! We could just make them from a country that just looks like it's somewhere in Asia. But then it would look like we're saying all Asians look alike, won't it? Next, we could make them from a less known country in Asia, like Thailand. But what if we end up misrepresenting them and they all get mad at us? Next, we could still shoot Thailand, but give it a different name, like Patusan. I love it, because technically if it's not real, they can't really get mad at us. Frankly, I don't know why they didn't just make the mythical Asian land the Philippines, because the majority of the cast were at least somewhat Filipino, so it would have made sense for them to have been returning to this country even if it was just some version of the Philippines. And I'm talking about the characters like the mysterious warrior, the teenagers, and even the best friend. And if you're wondering whether or not I just said that the best friend was part Filipino, yes. Yes, I did. Although it is especially hard to tell in scenes like this where he's pretending to be a Scottish man.
You kids, get in here and clean up your bloody room. Make me come out there and beat you with a leg of mine that no longer works, because I'll do it!
But even this character thinks that he's from Patusan. and he actually believes he's the real heir to the throne. But it just shows that these characters were meant to have some sort of ancestral connection to the land, and so making it the Philippines, I think, would have solved so many problems. So the casting chose to specifically choose actors that shared a Filipino background, but this seemed to be purely out of convenience because it really was irrelevant to the story. So how are we gonna cast this movie with Asian actors? Well, the main actor is Filipino, so we could just cast other Filipino actors. But where are we going to find Filipino people at a time like this? Well, this is LA. There's a decent Filipino population here. We have a little Philippines. But what if they can't speak English with an American accent? Well, we could cast half Filipino actors. That way we know they'll sound American. Right, because half Filipino rounds up to full Filipino. Regardless, there was really a missed opportunity to show the Asian American experience, because even if the story copied an Asian country and didn't consider the ethnicities of the actors, there still should have been a theme exploring whether or not the teenagers felt more Asian or more American, which I think would have added a lot of depth to the comedy. But instead, a lot of the jokes were just built around the teenagers nonchalantly accepting their new positions. Like there was zero character arc. Even after they ascended the throne, their speech to the crowd of people was like this.
It's my first act as your king. I hereby dissolve the monarchy, give the government to its people, because it's your destiny to be free.
I mean, this just makes no sense because he's speaking in English, which means that the crowd doesn't even understand what he's saying. And then he suddenly brings his Western ideas that they no longer need a king. But he just went through the whole traditional ceremony of becoming the king. So what was he thinking? Like that he would just waste their time, and then after they went through this really great welcoming, that he would just be like, hey, you know what, this sucks, like we don't need this anymore. In the end, the teenagers had every right to question their identity, and this would have been really interesting to explore comedically, but instead, their lack of this character development becomes the butt of the joke. Dad, since I'm adopted, can you tell me about my background? Well, son, it's simple. You're from a mythical Asian country, born into a royal family, destined to be a great warrior. Oh, so even though I feel completely American, I'm actually Asian? Exactly. And even though I feel like an average teenager, I'm actually royalty? That's right. And even though I've never fought anyone in my entire life, I now have supernatural martial arts skills? You got it. Okay. As an actor myself, I also couldn't help but feel like a lot of the talent were underutilized in this movie. Like, you can't just throw a bunch of people together with star power and expect them to automatically play these memorable characters. There is a lot more that goes into it than that. But if you are going to rely on the power of the big names, at least set them up for success. Ernie Reyes Jr., who played Johnny, and whom 90s kids will recognize as the pizza delivery guy from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze, should have shined like the smooth, tough guy he was. But instead, he didn't throw a kick until 40 minutes into the movie. So here's this guy who's this big up-and-coming star, known for his awesome action scenes, and you're telling him that he has to rely on his teenage charm to carry the plot? I can tell you what I would have rather seen, and that's more scenes of him fighting alongside his dad. That's right, Ernie Reyes Sr. was also in this movie, and he played the mysterious warrior. By the way, I think it's hilarious that they just gave him an eye patch and expected people to not recognize that they are related. But hands down, the best choreography was when they were sparring together. It's ridiculous to think that the studio expected Ernie Reyes Jr. to be the next big star when they nerfed what it is that he does. Like, Ernie Reyes Jr. should have been a freaking icon. Ernie Reyes Jr. reporting for duty, here to do what I do best and kick some butt. Yeah, well, we already know you can do all that, so we're going in a different direction. What? But that's kind of what made me famous in the first place, remember? We want to see if you can be a star, so no kicking butt for the first half of the movie. Wait a minute, but I am an actual martial artist. I have a professional record. Let's try to tone that down a little bit. Don't think fighting, think swag. Well, if that's what you guys want, okay. I really hope this doesn't affect my career negatively. Leslie Nielsen, who played Colonel Chi, and who might have been the most recognizable comedic actor around that time, was unusually not funny. As if seeing him play the bad guy wasn't unsettling enough, it was also unclear whether he was supposed to be somewhat menacing or comically pathetic as the antagonist. I actually think it would have been better for him to have seemed more like the latter, because he's known for playing these ridiculous characters that never have any clue what's going on. Additionally, this would have contrasted Ernie Reyes Jr.'s character, making Johnny seem cooler and even more heroic. Because if you're going to make an actor play a character with a flaw, why not make it obvious so that the audience has a chance to react? Make it so that they feel comfortable laughing at a scene like this. It's equally ridiculous to think that the studio thought that Leslie Nielsen was well positioned to play this villain when they were not certain how they wanted the character to be perceived. Leslie Nielsen reporting for duty, here to play the funny guy I am in all my movies. Leslie, the biggest comedy actor of this decade. So we're going in a different direction. Wait, are you saying I'm not going to play the character that made me so successful? We want to experiment a little bit to see if you can be more emotional. Like, try always being slightly angry. But it sounds like you're asking me to play the opposite of my usually stoic humor. Yeah, let's try tone that down a little bit, and instead of bringing the laughs, bring a little more evil. Well, if that's what you want, okay. As an established actor, it's not gonna hurt my career. But worst of the worst, like worst of all, Rob Schneider, who played Iggy and who was known for being on SNL, was totally unnecessary. I really feel like this character was just thrown into the movie last minute because he doesn't even look like a teenager. Like, you can't just shave his sideburns, dye his hair red, and be like, yes, he is a youth. But overall, I cannot stress how terrible this character was because he was always an afterthought. Like, you could literally edit out all of his lines and the plot would still make sense because all he did was, towards the beginning or the end of every scene, is make racist jokes that made my butt cheeks clench so hard. Like, I still don't know if it was okay for him to have made this joke even knowing that he's part Asian. I actually have a theory that Rob Schneider's character wasn't even real, and that he was just a projection of the teenagers in their desire to be white, because then all of their problems would have disappeared. Man, it sure is tough being Asian sometimes. Did someone say they hate being Asian? Huh? No. I actually didn't. But who are you supposed to be? I'm Iggy, the imaginary white version of you, so I'm like you, but better. Oh, well, I guess if you're still me, that's fine. So what can you do? Well, this means I'm immune to racism against Asian people. That makes sense. And actually, that would be pretty nice right now. I'm even able to get away with being racist against Asian people myself. Right, but you would never choose to, right? 'Cause you're me. Being Asian means you're automatically good at martial arts. Dang, I must hate myself more than I thought. Honorable mention for reasons that make this film problematic in the portrayal of Asian people is the fact that anytime an English-speaking Asian person is speaking Patusani, they're really just saying gibberish. I don't speak every Asian language, but I'm pretty sure of this. There's even a running joke that the Beach Boys song Barbara Ann is the name of some Asian guy.
One of the world's great spiritual leaders, the Baba Ram of Mikrob.
Baba Ram, rockin' in a reelin' Baba Ram. Baba Ram, rockin' in a reelin' Baba Ram.
But literally you could do this with any Beach Boys song if you're going to stoop so low as to say that even a mythical Asian language just sounds like mumbled English phrases. Isn't it weird that all the Beach Boys songs are about Asian people? No, I never noticed that. Yeah, like that one that goes Ba 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 Ram. Do you mean their song Barbara Ann? And the one that goes Would It Be Nice? I think you mean their song Wouldn't It Be Nice? Well, what about the one that goes Surfin' Usie? Okay, you definitely mean their song Surfin' USA. No way, dude. All of these clearly mention Asian names. Bro, do you not know that all the Beach Boys songs are in English? Another honorable mention is Kelly Hu's character, the Patusani princess, who was underutilized because she basically becomes a Mary Sue. She has the potential to show this really interesting side of an immigrant that came much later to California. But instead she is reduced to a pretty face who doesn't really tell any of the jokes and who has absolutely no flaws.
I've been doing everything that was expected of a traditional Patusani girl. Well, and who do my parents think they are, telling me who I'm gonna marry?
Unfortunately, this just makes her character unrealistic, even if there is a sense that the audience is meant to find her admirable for her sudden Western take on relationships. It is I, the Patusani princess, here to marry my future king. Oh, sweet! So, how are you liking America so far? I wouldn't know, because I am but a humble princess. Okay, but I'm sure you're entitled to your own opinion too. I guess you're right. You know what? I actually don't want to marry you. There you go. Wait, huh? Rats. Oh well, that's America for you. Exactly. I am both perfectly Patusani and perfectly American. At least I'm still the hero with amazing fighting skills. Oh, I can kick butt too. It's just that I look even better doing it. Great. Well, it's good to know you're so relatable, princess. Just to be clear, I'm gonna go ahead and say that I'm not actually Thai or Filipino, and it is not my intention to be speaking for these communities. However, I am Chinese, Japanese, and Korean, so that's pretty East Asian. And I think I can generally speak for Asian Americans when I say that this movie had the potential to be really meaningful to us, but it wasn't. And scene. All right, we got it. Awesome. I feel really good about this computer hacker role. Yeah, I mean, you did great. I mean, it's a little weird that they want me to wear glasses and a collared shirt. Yeah, but it's what the director wanted. It's almost like coding is this guy's whole world. Like he's just some kind of big nerd. Yeah. Hey, those are definitely your words, not ours. I know. But like... So, do you still want the part? Yes, I do. If Surf Ninjas had not been a complete disaster, it might have been remembered fondly as a moment when Hollywood uplifted Asian Americans. Because dang it, I would have really liked a martial arts comedy in which people who looked more like me were regarded as hilarious and also really cool. Well, that's all I got for y'all. Thanks so much for watching, and if you enjoyed it, don't forget to like and subscribe. I try to make videos at least once a month, but join the club, become one of my day ones, because my goal is to someday be cast in a sitcom. Bye! And remember, if you're gonna name a movie something as epic as Surf Ninjas, don't forget to make sure that the main characters surf often and that they themselves become ninjas.